Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Friday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, today I was going through the news feeds looking for an article, looking for something to talk about, and I got led to YouTube, and I came across a YouTube video. And I wasn't going to talk about it at first. Usually, I don't talk about other YouTube videos too often. I'll find a story, something going on in the news, a current event, or something like that. And I came across this video. It's by Black Hornets One. That's the name of the channel. I'll have the link right down below, and I'll have the video right on top that I'm going to talk about. It's I really didn't want to fight, and it caught my attention. And it looks just like surveillance, like video camera of a gas station of an altercation. And I watched this video, and my adrenaline went through the roof. And as I watched the video over and over again, it clicked with everything I've said here before about trying to avoid fights, about who I used to be, about these guys that just don't have it in them to hit somebody, and they'll act like a tough guy. And there's the epitome of this guy in this video. And the more I thought about this video, I couldn't get it out of my mind, and I decided to talk about it here. So it clicks with everything that I've talked about before, the life I used to lead. I've been clean and sober for 17 and a half years. And for the most part, I've avoided altercations. I've been maybe in 3 or 4 fights in the last 17 and a half years, which for me really isn't very many. I try to walk away whenever possible. I am like this guy. I really don't want to fight. There's no point to it. In this video, a guy runs through a red light by mistake. 3 guys on motorcycles, the Black Hornets, run through a red light by accident. And they pull up at a gas station, and this little wannabe tough guy, all of 5'4", with his chest all puffed out and all his red, white, and blue paraphernalia all over him, regalia, jumps out of his huge Trumper truck. Well, first, let me describe it right from the beginning, because this clicks with everything I've said before. Some guys, the more you back down sometimes, too, the more aggressive some guys get. All right, so like I said, the links are right down below. Let me start from the beginning. Like I said, these guys who I assume are the Black Hornets, I assume, I don't know their color of their skin, but I'm going to assume they're black guys. They sound African American to me. I don't know if that's right or wrong to say, but they do sound. Their voice sounds African American. Their words. I said what I said. All right, so the guy in the truck pulls up, and I could tell, what happened to this guy in the truck. He got scared. A lot of times, this thing that looks like anger is really fear and hatred, and fear of other people, fear of people that don't look like you. And he was probably at the stoplight, and he almost got hit by these guys on the bike. He gets all scared, that he's going to be in an accident. Then he gets, and his fear turns into anger. And he chases these guys into the gas pumps. All right, so the guy on the bike is back. He's saying, I don't really want to fight. And the more that he backed down, the more that he said, let's talk, relax. The more he did that, the more the little wannabe tough guy got in his face. If you watch the guy pull up. The guys in the truck, we'll call him Little Truck Man, and then the Black Hornets. There's Black Hornets 1, the guy that didn't want to fight, and then Black Hornets 2, that's the guy that ran over and just kicked the little truck guy's butt. And then Black Hornet 3, and he's just in the mix. So the guy pulls up, and he's in his truck, and he's like, "Don't do that again. Don't ever do that again." And I've talked about this before. He would have been better off just to continue on his way. What good did it do pulling into that gas station and yelling at these guys and getting in a fight? What good did he teach? Did he teach them a lesson? Did he teach them never to do this again? Did he show them, the right way to do it? No, it just was a waste. And he ended up getting his ass kicked. He ended up losing his cell phone, and he ended up looking like a big wuss, which he was. A big wannabe blow-up wuss. If he just drove away, if he just watched these guys go through the red light, figure karma's going to catch up to him, or maybe it was an accident, whatever, and he just went on his way, it would have had the same result. It would have been a better result. Nothing was accomplished by this whole altercation that he started, little truck guy. So he pulls up, and when the guy on the bike goes, look, I didn't mean to do it, he jumps out of the truck. You see what I mean? When he sees that the other guy is not going to be aggressive, he's one of those types that, when he sees somebody else, he sees the other guy's going to back down, he gets more aggressive. And this is the kind of guy I talk about. The guy that just won't he won't throw a punch. He won't punch somebody in the face. He doesn't have it in him. He's a wannabe tough guy, you know. And he puffs his chest out and he gets all in the motorcycle guy's face. And that's one of the things I talked about never doing. After I've been in over 100 fights, you don't get yourself in somebody's face like that, because the guy on the bike with the helmet on could have just gone bam and headbutted him. That's what I would have done, and it would have been the end of the little truck guy. It would have fractured his whole freaking forehead, and that would have been the end of him. You know, it's stupid to ever go nose to nose, or you come on, you go, no, you go, come on, you got a problem. That is just ridiculous nonsense by people who will not throw a punch, who are afraid to punch. Okay, so you watch Black Hornet guy, the guy on the bike. The more he says, look, he's being like I am now. Look, just, it was an accident. Let's talk about this. The more he does that, he says, relax, right? And the little truck guy's going to get back in his truck, and and then when he says relax, like he's not going to fight again. Every time he backed down, every time he said something that looked like he wasn't going to fight, little truck man puffed up and ran over and got in his face even more. This is pretend macho-ness. This is all pretend. This blow up. You watch his chest. Every time the guy on the bike says, look, it is rational, and just saying, look, it was an accident. Let's talk about this. Little truck man gets more and more in his face, doing stupid things that put himself in danger because he doesn't know how to fight, and he doesn't have it in him to fight and throw a punch in the first place. Watch this. Watch how he gets out of the truck. Every time the guy on the bike backed down, the more aggressive little truck guy got. Then the second biker ran over. He was trying to put his bike up. He just dropped his bike. He ran over and he defended his buddy. I've been in this situation literally dozens of times, where somebody started with one of my friends and I jump in and we just beat the bejesus out of them. And I never feel good about this. For the last 17 and a half years, I do whatever I can to walk away from a fight because I've never felt good doing this. I could identify with the guy that says he really didn't want to fight. It was stupid. It was an accident, And the guy in the truck was just a pretend wannabe pussy who doesn't even have, if you watch, he never throws a punch. He never does. He puffs his chest out. He jumps out of the truck. And every time the guy on the bike says relax, he gets more aggressive because he knows he's reading the other guy. He's reading the guy on the bike. And he's thinking, this guy he's not going to punch me. So I could go after him more. I could look tougher. And it's feeding his ego. That's what's going on here. I remember the first time I threw a punch. I was 16 years old. Up until then, I was little truck guy. I was the guy that talked a big game and got in other guys' faces and stuff. But up until I was 16, I had never hit somebody, and I was scared to. And I remember I had bought a car, my first car, a 73 Formula Firebird, and I was driving next to the school bus. And one of the kids, full school bus, and one of the guys on my age, like 16, 17, he was older than me actually, spit on my car. So I went to the school bus stop and I waited for him to get off the bus. And he got off the bus, and I threw him up against the bus, and all the people in the bus were looking out the windows, watching me and cheering me on. And that's when I just hauled off. It was the first time I ever hit somebody in the face, and I just bam, and I slammed his head up against the school bus, and they just cheered, and then I just went off. And after that, here's the scary thing. After that, it came way too freaking easy for me to do it. Like, I wouldn't even think about doing it. As soon as I would see somebody, this was in my 20s, my 30s, up until I was 40 years old. I would just see somebody come at me aggressively, like little truck man, and as soon as they got in range, I would just have a blank look on my face. I'd pull back and just drive right, picture a stop sign back here, and drive right through their head, twisting on impact, and driving. I've always been blessed with very, very long arms. And I remember the first time I hit this guy, and subsequently after, I never felt the punch. It wasn't like on TV, where you see somebody hit somebody and they go, ow, like it hurt their fist. I have never felt that pain in my knuckles. I've never gone, ow, ow. When I hit somebody, every time in my life, I don't even feel it. The adrenaline is going through my body, it's going through my hand. My hands are numb, literally. And the only way I know I hit somebody is I see their head go back. And every time I was always amazed. I was like, oh my God, I did that? I had that much force, because I see the guy's head go back like this. And I'm like, oh my God, Did that just happen? Did I just do that? And you start to get a high from it. You start to get a rush from it. It feels so easy. And then, the more guys run at you, you're like, okay, bam, bang, and it comes easy after a while. I never felt good doing this. All right, so you watch this video, and every time the other guys back down a little bit and talk, the guys on the bikes say, let's talk about this. The little truck guy gets more and more, he gets brave. He goes to get. I was wondering who he was going to get in the truck. I think it's a phone. So he gets out. He didn't have to get out, and he makes a big deal out of using his phone. And they come and take the phone away from him. And then he's standing there like a little boy. Can I have my phone back? I want my phone back. He's a little wuss. He's in this big truck, this big trumper truck. He's all of 5'4", with his little chest all puffed out, with his red, white, and blue regalia on. His hat backwards, acting all tough, but he never threw a punch because he's a pussy. He's just not aggressive. He doesn't have it in him. And these are the guys that start the fights a lot of times. Never just, if you see somebody at you, you see that they're gonna swing on you. You see somebody get in your space, and you don't talk, you don't push, you just end it right there, and drop the threat, bam, and it's over. And that's, you do what you got to do. I never enjoyed doing it. I never enjoyed getting in a fight. If I could, I like this guy on the bike. I identify with the guy on the bike that says he really didn't want to fight. He did everything in his power to get out of this. He didn't want to get into this because it was a freaking accident. There was no point to any of this. If the guy in the truck just ignored it and drove away, it would have had the same freaking results. The guy in the truck didn't teach anybody a lesson. He didn't accomplish anything. It was all stupid and over nothing. And he looked like a little pussy, which he is. Those are my thoughts on this video. I see I'm running low on time. You guys, I'll be back later with another video. You guys have a good Friday.